Alright, welcome back to another Ruby Inspired. This is 11. Well, I'm away at the moment, so uploading is different. Anyway, this is 11. Matthew definitely had trouble adjusting piloting Red, especially since he's only her temporary pilot. They aren't bonding as well. So Keith decided he would try and help Pidge's poor older brother. "Look, you're doing great, Matthew," Keith muttered. He scooched in his chair, glided by Shiro. "She's responding to you, which is good." "But she fucking hates me," Matthew groaned, releasing the controls as Red lowered her head. He tore off the helmet and stormed out. "I can't do this. She's not helping me. I've gotten hold of how I'm completely useless. I make everything worse. I tried asking her, begging her the other day and got nothing. I'm worried we won't be able to form Voltron with such a terrible bond." Matthew hung his head as he stood in front of Keith, hand in his muffled hair. Keith sighed and pushed himself to his feet. "Red's just being difficult. She always is." Red groaned in response. "Just give her a little more time." A tip: focus more on your instincts than your brain. The older Holt sighed but nodded. "Alright, I'll try that." No thinking. No, that's Lance's job. You still have to think." Matthew chuckled. "Right." He then loosened his gesture to Keith's abdomen. "Have you noticed? Has Lance even noticed?" Keith blinked and stared up, then tilted his head, crooking his brow. "What are you talking about?" "You know," Matt muttered softly. "Your baby bump." Suddenly self-aware, Keith gazed and snapped down, and his palms both pressed against his belly. Matthew was right. He was staring slow and he hadn't even noticed. He was starting to show. Keith gulped. I didn't even notice." Matthew chuckled and nudged him. "Don't freak out, bud. Go and get some rest, man." The red pad and hummed, then nodded. "You'll be fine with her?" "It'll be okay. I'm just going to give her a break from me, though." Matthew turned and looked up at the lion. "I'm kinda hungry anyway." Keith smiled. "I'll head to the kitchen with you." Lance groaned as he dragged himself into the bridge, allowing by the others paladins. "Lotor really has it out for us today," he grumbled, grunting as Keith threw his arms around him. "Hey babe, your ass. Don't suddenly stop talking after you were shot." Keith snapped and pulled away, and glaring at Lance. "You scared the hell out of me." The blue paladin blinked, then grinned sheepishly as the others sat down. "Aw, sorry. It won't happen again." Keith grabbed Lance tighter, then slid his arms over Lance's shoulders and rested his forehead on Lance's chest plate. "You better not." Lance hummed, wrapping his arms around Keith. "I promise." "Alright, we need to book it so we can see to sit down so Laura can wormhole." Lance snored softly, hugging a pillow tightly to himself. As he was slept, Keith lay beside him, as close as he could get so he couldn't fall out of bed. He sighed and sat up, sliding his legs over the side of their bed. I can't do this anymore, Keith muttered and stood up. He snuck out of their room, carefully not to wake Klance. He trotted down the hall and made his way to the bridge. The Red Paladin sighed in relief as the door opened and Karan was over by the control panel. Hey, Keith folded his arms and walked to the Altean. Karan yawned and waved, then smiled brightly. Hello, Keith. Shouldn't you be resting? Keith hummed and looking up at the crystal. Like, well, yes, I just can't sleep. Lance too loud? Is he taking up the bed? Karan muttered, checking on the shield possibilities. Or is there something too much on your mind? The Red Paladin relaxed against his panel. The bed's too small for both of us, and now they're having a baby, and I feel small and smaller. Karan nodded. Ah, yes, I understand. Tell you what, I'll find you a room for you and Lance and the baby. Just go and try and beep beep beep. Alarms flashing, lights cutting advanced off. Karan sighed. Or not. Paladins! He activated the partial barrier. We're under attack! How's this? Keith stepped into a room after Karan, looking around. Whoa! He touched the blankets. It's fancy. It's big. Karan chuckled, pinching the curl of his moustache. Yes, indeed. I touched it up just for you two. 10,000 years of dust collecting is quite a mess. Keith turned to Karan and smiled. Thanks. You didn't have to. Altean shrugged and hummed. It's no problem, Keith. It gave me something to do other than update and check the castle systems. Also, I had Hunk and number 5 help with this. Karan stepped over to the wall and touched a little panel. A crib popped out of the wall, and Keith's eyes widened. Keith swirled around in a large bed and went straight to look at the crib. Whoa! He pressed the small mattress. Smiling, he picked up the small stuffed animal. Is this a weblin? He muttered. Yes, Karan grinned, puffing his chest. I had found it while back in one of the bedrooms, much further down. There's more if you want to go through them when you have time. They many blankets or even clothes. He smiled widely, looking up at Karan. This means a lot, Karan. Thank you so much. Karan relaxed, patting Keith's shoulder. You're very welcome, Keith. It's a lovely day today. You would have enjoyed it. I hope. I hope you would enjoy it. I don't know yet. For all I know, you're just like Mummy. Wait. Who said that? Who? You're calling me that? Lance smacked and stared up. He squeezed Keith's middle and nuzzled his belly. Me? Duh. You don't think calling me Mummy, were you? Keith rolled his eyes. I didn't think either were called Mummy. The blue paladin hummed and curled up against Keith. But I think it makes sense that you're the one it calls Mum. It's confusing when both of us are Daddy. You can be called Papa. I'll be Dad, Keith corrected, gesturing with both of his hands. Then settled one hand on Lance's hair, the other on his abdomen. Less confusing. But how can they tell the difference when they're just beginning to speak? Lance looked up at Keith, then tucked his face back into his side. It's just be easier. You're mummy. Besides, you're the one pregnant. I don't even know how I'm pregnant. There are female Gara. Keith huffed, pounding inside. Lance rubbed his belly. Dunno. We might have to ask someone. Maybe Corvon knows. Keith sighed and carrying his fingers through Lance's hair. Maybe. We'll find out at some point. Alright then, guys, that's the end of that chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for a bit of the wait. Again, I'm in a different country, so the uploading is different. But I have the schedule to be back at some point next week. Anyway, thanks. Bye.